We're going to talk about Reckless Ben's legal trouble. All right. I think it's important to say that I'm not a lawyer, but and it's relevant because, you know, you guys have to understand that Reckless Ben is sort of a young guy, good guy. I think he's a swell guy. I think he's trying to do right by the Mansell family. But Reckless Ben made a series of mistakes, in some of his videos with some of his actions. Dude, he sort of went, I think, over the line with not telling the full truth of each situation. And what it looks like is that he did this because he wanted to get likes, he wanted to make money off at the behest of negatively and publicly bashing bricks and minifigs, all over an unproven allegation. And I think, and dude, there's like a lot of bad things that are occurring, and a lot of people on the internet don't understand why bricks and minifigs is trying to get takedown orders. Well, part of the problem here is that, as much as I like Reckless Ben, and I think he's done a great job, advocating for the Mansell family, the other problem, the other part of this issue, man, is that he's not been forthcoming. He's lacked candor in these situations. When he was saying, "Oh, I took him to small claims court," bro, he's got one active small claims court case active. All the rest have been dismissed. The reasons they've been dismissed are because of mistakes on his side. Some he never paid the fee. Again, I have no idea why. Makes no sense. In other cases, he didn't, file the right paperwork. And these are things that matter. Our legal system in America, a lot of times, yes, it does work off sort of what's morally right versus what's morally wrong. But when it comes to business, that's sort of different, okay? That is where you can get really tripped up in terms of the legal problems. And that's what Reckless Ben is facing, okay? So he said, "Oh, I took him to small claims court." Hey, what's up? He said, "Oh, I took him to small claims court and I won and they shut it." That never happened, bro. They didn't shut this store down because, Reckless Ben won in small claims court. Small claims court wouldn't even result in that happening. That's the problem, man. And that's what you have to understand. If you're not a business owner, it may be hard. Small claims court is basically for amounts that are under a certain amount. There's no lawyer. No lawyers are in small claims court. That is strictly a person to person, sometimes person to business, but it's mainly for person to person. So that's the number one issue. The number two issue is that, yeah, hey man, you could say that there is perhaps a bit of religious hatred or religious targeting going on because he made the claim about Mormons and bricks and minifig. Like, that's a bad move, man. That's a bad move. And just replace it, Mormon, with Jewish, with Muslim, with Christian, with whatever. It doesn't matter. That's a bad move, man. Okay. And so, hey, what's going on, man? So that's the problem. And so if Reckless Ben had been upfront and honest about all of these issues instead of, sort of piecing together the truth for his videos, which, dude, I get. He's done a great job with raising awareness to this travesty that's occurred against the Mansell family. But the problem is that he's done it on the back, or like against the wrong people. This isn't Bricks and Minifigs corporate fault. This is the previous store owner's fault. And that's where all of his legal troubles come, because he doesn't have a lot of the facts. He's got secondhand facts that aren't even the truth. So, he's sort of operating off what's called hearsay, which is an issue. And then he's making videos that, again, great videos, but they're not telling the entire truth. They're omitting certain parts so that he can paint a narrative, which goes, he's doing it to raise awareness. I get that. And I'm not against that. Like, I just want to be honest. But he wasn't fair to all parties involved, and that's the problem. Okay? Had he done everything he's done against Bricks and Minifigs corporate and the previous store owners, I don't think that he would be in as much legal trouble as he is right now. Because Reckless Ben is in deep legal trouble. Like, let me be very clear. He's going to get crushed, man. Like, he's going to get crushed legally unless he gets a very good lawyer. And he needs a very good lawyer because he's got himself into a world of you know what, man. I get it. He's trying to help, but at the same time, you got to be careful, man, because he's doing a whole lot of stuff that I guarantee the Mansell family's not gonna say, yeah, I asked him to do that. They're not gonna say, yeah, I wanted him to do that. Hell no. Hell no. And again, yeah, there's probably some lies. I said it in my other live. I think the BAM CEO should fire the guy who he was trying to serve papers to. That guy is not good for their business. He should be fired and never hired back again. That guy that Reckless Ben was trying to serve has done huge amounts of damage to the Bricks and Minifigs brand, to the BAM franchise. And, if we're going to be talking about Mormons, hey, bro, he's done huge amounts of damage to the Mormon faith. Because, hey, man, perception is reality. And that's something that they should already know. And those cops, don't be idiots, man. Dude, just look at it doesn't matter. Look at the video. Yeah, it doesn't show the whole truth, but you just making a press statement, you're just sort of proving his point right, because you didn't deny him. And you're just saying, oh, well, Reckless Ben did this and that. Bro, you should just drop all the charges and apologize. He was never supposed to be arrested. Yeah, I am going to own my own planet. I am. Bricks and Minifigs is going to be there. But, yeah, I think the police in, Fork, Utah or wherever, yeah, hell yeah, they're wrong, bro. They're way wrong. But Reckless Ben is also wrong. And I think more people need to say that, because if you care about Reckless Ben needs to step way back. He needs to make a public apology to Bricks and Minifigs corporate. Say, hey, I was only ever trying to do what's best for the Mansell family. They didn't ask me to do that, but, I was trying to raise awareness. I think I made some mistakes along the way. I may have caused some unintentional harm. I don't know. I apologize. I just want what's best for the Mansell family, and try to work with Bricks and Minifigs to drop their legal juggernaut, which may be too late for that to happen. I'll be honest, because their brand has taken significant amounts of reputational damage. And, that's going to hurt their back end, their bottom line, so to speak, and so I think it may be too late, because see, the problem that Reckless Ben doesn't realize, and okay, the Patreon CEO didn't want to take down his Patreon account. Okay, here's what's going to happen. Bricks and Minifigs is going to get a settlement against Reckless Ben. Then all of his Patreon earnings are going to go straight to Bricks and Minifigs. All of Reckless Ben's YouTube earnings are going to go straight to Bricks and Minifigs. Basically, any sort of money that Reckless Ben makes is going to go straight to Bricks and Minifigs. That's what's going to happen, I assure you. I think that Reckless Ben has made too many mistakes, too many legal mistakes at this point, to have any chance of winning any court case against Bricks and Minifigs. He's made way too many mistakes, and on the last live that he did with, ACAB, he literally admitted that, oh, well, I guess it could have been the previous store owners, fault. They could have stolen the Lego collection. You just undermined everything in any argument you had in court for it being a good faith argument, bro. A good faith argument where you're neutral means that you go after everybody, every party equally. And had he done that, Bricks and Minifigs probably would not be bringing the legal juggernaut and onslaught that I assure you is coming. I assure you. And they're not playing with it. And, I kind of agree with them, man. Now, any legal whatever against the Mansell family is a massive mistake. Massive mistake on the part of Bricks and Minifigs. Huge mistake. They should drop that. Anything against the Mansell family, they should drop immediately. That's the worst. Don't go that way. It doesn't even matter. Because this is a PR thing. And, at the end of the day, what corporate does is going to impact how well the franchise owners are going to be able to do, man. So Reckless Ben should be very careful. I say that as somebody, I don't want anything bad to happen to him. And he should just back off. Make that apology video. Say, I realize the wrongs of my ways. And, just send that to corporate and say, hey, I'm sorry. I'm not, I understand your point of view now. I didn't see that before. I've got clarification. I apologize. There's some way we can work this out where you guys aren't spending any more legal money going after me. I don't want to take away from the Mansell family getting justice. That's what Reckless Ben should do. Otherwise, Reckless Ben is going to get crushed. And it doesn't matter how many people on the internet whine and cry about it, man. This is the real world, bro. This is how this real world works. It doesn't matter what the internet says or thinks. It doesn't, bro. It just doesn't matter, man. Again, even somebody like, Penguins, his 18 million followers didn't even move the needle, right? Because at the end of the day, they have a brand to protect. They have franchise owners they have to protect. And, I'm not defending Bricks and Minifigs. They've done wrong here, but Reckless Ben is in a world of hurt, and he just did not go about it the right way. So, anyways, that's it. You guys be safe. Let's hope the Mansell family gets justice. I think that Bricks and Minifigs, if the Lego collection is $100,000, just give them $50K, man. Say this is what we can do. The former store owners, they're at fault. They lost your set, man. They didn't keep proper records. The chain of custody has been broken. We can't match stuff up 1-to-1. We've been trying to. We can't do it. We want to make you whole. We want to make you things right for you. This is as best as we can do. Sorry that this happened. And, we would still love to work with you. They should even sponsor that guy. Sponsor Brian Mansell. Because if he likes Legos, why not? Ask that guy if he wants to, open that store, own the store, whatever, man. But that would be the good move. Anyways, Reckless Ben, if you watch this, bro, back off, dude. Back off, brother. You're too young and you don't know about this world. And I don't want you to know about it, because right now, from all public documents, you are going to get your nuts crushed, brother. And the best lawyer in the world is not going to be able to save you, because you have made a lot of mistakes. I think you did them for the right reasons, but it's time to back off. All right, later, guys.